The gods. Hephaestus. In ancient Greek mythology, Hephaestus is the god of blacksmiths and fire. Called the celestial artificer, he was also associated with other craftsmen, sculptors, carpenters, metalworkers and, as evident in the name of his Roman counterpart, Vulcan, with volcanoes. Even though an ugly god, lamed by his own mother, he was the husband of none other than Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty herself. No one celebrated the birth of Hephaestus. His mother Hera had awaited him with great eagerness, hoping for a child so beautiful and gifted that it would make Zeus forget his heroic swarm of children from lesser consorts. But when the baby was born, she was appalled to see that he was shriveled and ugly with an irritating bleating wail. She did not wait for Zeus to see him, but snatched the infant up and hurled him off Olympus. For a night and a day he fell, and hit the ground at the edge of the sea with such force that both of his legs were broken. He lay there on the beach writhing in agony, but unable to die because he is immortal. Finally the tide came up and a huge wave curled him under its arm and carried him off to sea. There he sank like a stone, and was found by Thetis, the Nereid, or sea nymph. She kept him as a pet in her grotto at the bottom of the sea, and was astonished to see how well he could craft shells and shine stones into beautiful pieces of jewelry. One day she appeared at a great festival of the gods, on Mount Olympus, where Hera noticed a beautiful necklace that Thetis was wearing that he had made, and inquired as to where she had acquired it. Thetis told her about the crippled child she had found and kept in her cave that makes the most beautiful items. Hera divined that it was her own child and demanded him back. Hephaestus returned to Olympus. There Hera presented him with a broken mountain, nearby where he could set up forges and bellows. She gave him the brawny Cyclops to be his helpers and promised him Aphrodite as a wife if he labored in the mountain to make her wonderful jewels and weapons. To which he agreed, as he still loved his mother and forgave her for her cruelty to him. He became the smith god, the great artificer, lord of mechanics. And the mountain always rumbled and smoked with his toil, and still does to this day. It is not known what the name Hephaestus means. However, since it's similar to few pre-Greek toponyms or Phaestos, it is supposed that Hephaestus is a very old deity. He is arguably the most extraordinary member of the Olympian pantheon. Bearded and ugly, stocky and lame, he neither possesses the physical flawlessness of the other gods, nor does he stimulate the fitting respect. Sometimes he is depicted with an oval cap and almost always with a hammer and an anvil. The epithets most commonly associated with Hephaestus are far from flattering. The lame one and the halting. He is also sometimes referred to as shrewd, and habitually as the Etnian, since his workshop was believed to be located under Mount Etna. Hesiod, however, claims that Hephaestus is solely Hera's child and that she gave him birth by parthenogenesis to get back at her husband Zeus, who had done the same with Athena. Later on, Hephaestus got his revenge. He made a golden throne, so beautiful that Hera accepted it right away. However, the minute she sat on it, she was all tied up by the numerous delicately fashioned cords invisible to anyone's eyes but their creators. Many gods tried to persuade Hephaestus to free Hera, promising him a place on Olympus in return. However, he was unremorseful and released his mother only when Dionysus got him drunk. Just like Hera's golden throne, Hephaestus' creations were masterworks. No one but him was able to build the beautiful, indestructible bronze mansions where all the other Olympians lived. Crafty and cunning, he added a distinctive element here and there, such as the secure doors of Hera's chamber which no other god but her could open. In the Iliad, Homer tells us something even more fascinating, namely, that Hephaestus had fashioned for himself handmaidens of gold, who were able to understand him, speak to him and assist him. And they weren't the only creations of this kind. Among other automata, Hephaestus sculpted golden dogs to guard the palace of Alcinous and Talos, and a giant bronze man to protect Crete. Some even say that, at the request of Zeus, he also sculpted the first mortal woman, Pandora. Finally, Hephaestus was the creator of some of the most stunning pieces of military equipment ever seen. Most famously, as a favor to Thetis, he created the shield of Achilles, whose 5 bronze layers he masterfully engraved with scenes representing almost all aspects of life. But he was also the one who made the scepter of Agamemnon, the breastplate of Diomedes, and the sword of Peleus. For an ugly god, Hephaestus couldn't have fared much better when it comes to women. Most commonly, his wife is said to have been none other than Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty herself. However, she wasn't very faithful to him, sleeping with Ares behind his back. One day, Hephaestus caught the lovers and trapped them in a fine woven chain net, after which he called upon the other gods to laugh at their shame. Poseidon persuaded him to free the adulterers, but Hephaestus wasn't done. When Ares and Aphrodite's daughter Harmonia married Cadmus, he gifted her a magical necklace, which would bring misfortune to her and everyone who will afterward wear it. Other authors say that Hephaestus was married to Aglaia, the youngest of the Graces. She gave him 4 children: Euclea, Euthenia, Euphene, and Philophrosine. One time, Hephaestus tried to force himself upon Athena. Athena managed to escape on time, so Hephaestus' seed fell on the earth and impregnated Gaia, who afterward gave birth to Erycthonius, an early ruler of Athens. Hephaestus' sacred animal was the donkey, and his symbols were the hammer, the anvil, and the tongs. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for upcoming videos.